Hey there, Aries. I have a reading for you today, and I wanted to start with an oracle card. And a card popped out, and I was like, well, I'm not ready. So I reshuffled and I split the deck, and the same damn card came out. So obviously, we want you to have this message, which is resistance. Which, Aries, the Aries I know and love, it is just so fun to resist with you. Last reading, you were bringing truth to power. In this reading, you have resistance in your cards here. According to the Queen of the Moon Oracle, from which I pulled this card, asks you this question and wants you to meditate on this. And we'll pull cards with this in mind. Why do we resist the things we say we want? Sometimes we don't really want those things. Most times, though, we are frightened about what might happen if we do get what we have asked for. What will people think? Will we lose our friends and family if we rise? Will it be for nothing if we try and fail? But we must be willful, and we must have courage. We must repeat to ourselves, this is what I really want for me. Yes, I am worth it. And then we stand up straight, put on our crown of sovereignty of our own lives, and go to battle. And the companion stone to this card is red jasper. And the color red associated with Aries, with the planet of Mars, with that warrior that I have gone to battle with. You know who you are, my Aries friend. And this is the card we get. We get resistance. And I see her under her hand, because she has a manicured nail. I say she, pronouns and tarot, whatever. This is the waning crescent moon. We are in a slowly waxing moon. We have just had a new moon in Sagittarius. But this card, we see a fist, which is growing with a forest. I'm much in communion with the woods here these days, thinking quite a bit about how can I, with my human makeup and my human talents, help my planet. We also see birds flying from this, as well as a little ladybug. So this is a beautiful call to resistance. Let's find out more, Aries. We're going to start with the Light Seers deck today, which has probably my favorite card of Aries, my favorite Emperor in it. And also, Aries, you're also associated with the Fool, the newest, youngest sign, and therefore so fun to be around. Cardinal, you start things. Okay, let's see. What do the cards want to tell us today about Aries and resistance? All right, we get in your recent past, we get some kind of regret and grief, the Five of Cups, loss, a little bit of self-pity I always see in this. And the Five of Cups here, she's focusing on what she's lost, but notice she has a big light-filled cup, a new start, a new emotional beginning right behind her. It's just a matter of time before she turns and sees that. In the present, we have you healing your heart there in your little nest. Four of Swords. Four of Swords is a card of intellect, a card of the truth. And some reader recently interpreted this card to be about the healing that comes when we let go of one story and begin to shift towards seeing everything potentially through a new way of understanding the truth. So take or leave that, but certainly in the present, we would see you, or that there is about you, some kind of healing process going on. This could be in a large political sense. This could be in a very small political sense. So there's been loss we see in the recent past, and now you're healing. Unbeknownst to you or in the background, this is hidden influences, the Six of Cups. This is a past lives. This is a soulmate. This is a inner child connection here. The dog seems really important to me right now. Yeah. That kind of feeling tired and mature and remembering, and sometimes with nostalgia, remembering youth when you were just a little pup with your little puppy. Yeah, so I see this, the Six of Cups. I don't usually see it this way, but there is a weariness and a nostalgia for when you had more energy. And so that could be you. And you might not be aware that this is driving you in some way. But since we see this Four of Swords state of healing that you're in at the moment, the Six of Cups kind of longing for a different time, nostalgia, but also feeling weary. That makes sense. Okay, and you, Aries, you appear here as the Empress, which is fantastic. This is your feminine counterpart in the tarot deck. So you are in your nurturing side. You are in the mystical feminine. This reiterates for me that there is an earthly cause to which you are called or invested in. And yeah, the Empress is pregnant here with the earth and the ocean she wears on her shoulders. She stands beneath the moon. And I notice here that she's surrounded by the same red glow here. I believe from looking at astrologers that Mars is currently in a very good place in the sky. It's a very positive relation to the collective. And since that is your guiding planet, that power is working in a positive way here. People around you, and I would say people here, we hit the Five of Wands. This can be fun. It's chaotic. It's creative. It can be very competitive. So you're in some kind of, these people need organizing, don't they? It could be your family, holiday family chaos. It could be people at work. So it seems to me that we're getting a group of people. And yeah, so we'll find out more about the people around you. Their advice here is to walk away. You're in an unfulfilling situation and you are being called to a new, more fulfilling. You're in the Eight of Cups. An Eight of Cups is followed by the Nine of Cups, which is total fulfillment. But in order to get to that Eight of Cups, you must turn away from that unfulfilling emotional situation and walk towards that sun that is rising on the horizon. Notice she's walking away from what appears to be this Ace of Cups that we saw in your recent past. In the background here, this is your recent past. And now from 5, that's the recent past, to 8, we've gone through a 6. We've got a 6 here in your hidden influences. This seems to be some kind of an emotional journey about spiritual, emotional fulfillment. It's in the water, it's in the feelings. There could be a leave taking that you're setting out on. That came out in your last reading, if I remember correctly. That was a long time ago. But the advice is to move from one situation to a more fulfilling one. You've exhausted everything here. It's how we're kind of looking at where you are at the present. It's just kind of becoming ready for a new world. Okay. And let's see what the future may hold for you, Aries. A new truth. Ace of Swords. Perhaps you're learning something new. You're getting some kind of new information, a download here in the future. I see the stairs here. They both go up behind her back here, and they spiral down. And that's where the light is down. So this makes me think about relations of power, uh, and that, and also of going into the depths for this new truth. There's there's a sense to me that she can ascend through this truth, but in order to get it, she has to go all the way down to the bottom to get in that light, to get that truth, right? So in the future, we see you taking this advice, leaving one set of ideas for another new one, which I'm going to say puts you at the very beginning of an intellectual pursuit. Ace of Swords, an ace is a beginning. Wow. Yeah. So you could be starting new studies. You could be about to learn something new. And that makes me think about that. I listened to a bunch of podcasts on a recent trip, and there was a great interview that Brene Brown did with the author of a new book called Live Wire. It's about neuroscience. And anyway, what he said is it's really good for us as we get older to learn new things, to constantly be challenging our brain, that our brain is capable of becoming quite efficient. When it learns new information, it just kind of dials it in, and we're no longer being challenged. This happens to athletes who, like, once you become good at a sport, it no longer is as taxing. But the brain, this happens as well. And so to keep learning new things is a good way to stay youthful. So in the future, we see you, Aries, learning something new, keeping that brain ready for more. And it certainly seems that, you being in this Empress mode, as the cards say you are, you're very much in your feminine, and you're the people around you are these goofy boys, so my dear Aries, consider you are tired, you are healing, you have become willing to be receptive in that feminine mode here of late, and you are on a journey. I saw that last time. You're going somewhere, whether it's in the real world or in some kind of a spiritual inner journey. We will perhaps learn a little bit more as we clarify. Okay, so this Five of Cups. Let's find out a little bit more about it. Okay, so we had the Sun here in the recent past. This is the card of absolute silly happiness in the recent past. That's interesting because she is not happy. We're clarifying this Five of Cups here. We get this happy baby with the red cloak. Red again, willpower, Mars, fire, the suit of Aries. Okay, what else? We also get, wow, abundance, being kind of at the top of your career, security, abundance, something. So what I'm getting is something that once made you very happy, full on the peak happiness, the Sun, is no longer making you happy, right? It looks to be at the workplace, the institution where you work. Of course, I know something about my Aries friends who might watch this, but for others watching this, this is an institution, job, home, marriage, family, which has brought you happiness that you are grieving in the present. Somehow you're feeling lost here, and you put a lot of work into this, and you're bummed out because it's not giving you the good happy feels anymore. So this is a significant loss. This explains why you are advised to walk away. Something that was once completely fulfilling no longer is. And you've put a huge amount of work into this. Okay. And you're pretty tired. You're tired. You're sad. You were recently sad. And now you're kind of healing from that. And you're gathering yourself. And you're becoming willing to shift from one institutional knowledge or one worldview, one truth, set of truths, swords or truths, for another. We see you in the present, resting, healing, meditating on this loss. The card before the Four of Swords, the Three of Swords, is about betrayal, heartbreak. It's about fear that comes after that. And you know, when you get your heart broken, you need to heal so that you can feel strong enough. And that reminds me, I saw on the bottom of this deck that an underlying energy here is strength. So we do have a kind of this resistance that you're being called to, which is our, how are we to resist, or how are you, Aries, to resist? And it's going to take strength, which, coming to strength, rising to your highest self is a process. And I noticed that both this underlying strength card, this woman who's half beast, half human, who's got her, is under control. She's proud, like a lion, but she's also safe for that lamb to be with. That same heart is in the nest here, healing with you. So I just remembered seeing that as I was talking about this Four of Swords. Okay, Four of Swords. Tell us more. Okay, so this is you and your collaborators building together. Four of Pentacles. This is making vision real. Making something together. This is something you do together in the real world. Again, a reference to that institution, job kind of situation. Again, you get continuing sadness. This is the traditional image of the Five of Cups. You can see that 3 cups have fallen. They are the losses. 1, 2, 3 losses here. Whatever it was made you very happy, and it is hard for you to let them go. But if you look behind you, they're behind you are 2 new cups. This is a new beginning, a new partnership. Look further behind this figure. There is a bridge to a new castle that goes over that water of feelings. So this is a process here. The Five of Cups is a process of losing, of feeling that loss. We must do so, right? That's why you're in the Four of Swords. And then you turn around and you cross that river of feelings, however long it takes to cross all of the emotions that come with this loss, this change. And you walk over that bridge, which is there for you to cross the feelings. So there's some kind of help to take you through this. There's a means for you to cross these feelings. I don't know. That could be like a support group, a supportive, someone who's giving you a hand over the river of loss and sorrow and grief and all the other emotions. Could be angry, to this new place, this new castle across the river. And what else? We get victory here. So you're going to ride across that bridge victorious. You're going to feel good about that as you. So we see this is the way that your healing looks, okay? The healing process looks like turning away from the loss of this place where you collaborated, this group that you participated in this Three of Pentacles life with. You're getting that Five of Cups. You're presently in that a lot. You're in and out of the kind of missing and clinging to maybe your Three of Pentacles world, your institution, where you have had total happiness of the sun. You've had the 10 of Pentacles, security, abundance, financial achievement. You've put in tons of work here, but it looks to me like you're you've lost that, or you're losing that. But you will ride away from that victorious in some way. There's a few other ways to tell this story, to think about what those Three of Cups were like. That's the most important question for you, viewer, who come to this, you Aries. What are those Three Cups about? They're in the feels, right? Cups are water. It's the emotions. They're emotional attachments, emotional losses. Threes sometimes have to do with friendship, groups that you have a commonality with, and sometimes they have to do with some kind of betrayal, because we see third-party situations come up with threes. So betrayal, as well as friends. And because I see this Three of Pentacles here, this is our clue to what that three is, in the most obvious, accessible to this reader story that is your life here, showing up in the cards, Aries. Okay, well, let's find out about the background here, this hidden influence of the Six of Cups, right? This nostalgia for youth. That is definitely a part of a healing process. It's the card that comes after the Five of Cups. What else? We get a little Page of Wands. This is just a little start, a little passion, a new creative beginning. Lots of Aries energy here in that youthful self, right? So if we see, we're clarifying this card. This to me had to do with nostalgia for your youth, but it could also be that you are kind of calling up that beginner's mind that you had when you were young. This is an excellent way to go forth onto your new journey, right? You're looking good. You're wearing the laurels. You're victorious. You're riding away from whatever situation in that state, and you have this young, passionate, creative, desiring, youthful self that is accessible to you, whether you are aware of that or not. This reading ought to make you aware of it, this background information here. You also have lots of choices. And this isn't always a comfortable place to be, and it would appear to me that you're not yet seeing that you have options. Options can be stressful, they can be confusing, there's lots of projections, we can stay up late telling ourselves stories. But again, if we look at, we're counting our way out of this situation from 5 cups to 6 cups, and now a 7 of cups, and your advice is an 8 of cups. You are in a process, my friend. Finally, further information about movement, about travel. This again can be changing your worldview, because the swords are, as I've been saying, about the thoughts, the intellect, your structures of the mind, your truth concepts. This is a little family moving. We've got a woman and her child, or a child, sitting in the front of this boat being pushed by this person who, I cannot help but see that this might be you, Aries, this guy with the wand, and this person is pushing this boat similarly with a wand. So there's some kind of very Aries-like fiery wands are the suit of fire, willpower that is driving you from stormy seas to a calmer land. These are there's always a feeling of being a refugee here, but it's a very powerful move to make. There's, very similar to your previous reading. Okay, Aries, strangely you, who I think of as like these active, physical, muscly, masculine suit or sign, appearing here as the Empress, in your most feminine, balanced balance to your masculine side. Open, receptive, nurturing. Yes, I mean, certainly my most masculine Aries buddy, you are capable of being so sweet and nurturing, absolutely. I miss my people today. I miss hugs. Here you are, you're getting on the chariot. You've been stuck and now you're moving. There's a lot of momentum in you. Always. Cardinal sign that you are. But the chariot is, it's also the card of Cancer, so that could be a part of your chart. But you've been stuck and now you're breaking out of that. This is how you're appearing. You are ascending. Wow, this is a very powerful. You appearing as Empress with the chariot and now Judgment. This is you are being called to a higher purpose. You know what? You're ready. You're the Empress. You're the Empress. You are the Queen of Queens. And you're confident of your masculinity if you're a man in the Empress mode, which of course in this historical moment is what we need. Our Aries Emperor people, we need the divine masculine to really embrace that their feminine. This is being, in the collective sense, a part of a larger narrative that we are all in as we move. We're in a very dramatic movement. Some are calling this the dawning of the age of Aquarius. We have this great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn on the 21st, which, I don't know, that's Monday or Tuesday of next week. We're supposed to see a huge shift of energy there, moving from hardworking Capricorn into intellectual, visionary, humanitarian Aquarius. So it feels like we're all ascending, and we see you, Aries, here, definitely called to this higher purpose. And we also see in you some indecision, protectiveness, self-protectiveness. You're holding two swords crossed across your chest and you're blindfolded. This tells us that you are looking inward to yourself. You're refusing outside counsel, although you're watching this reading. It's always important to look at the ocean. This is a slightly ruffled waters back there. We don't have that. And remember, this is what, in the tarot, a smooth sea. So this is a very stormy sea, and they're moving to calmer seas. But the ocean in this part of water represents an emotional state. So there's some choice that you are making at this that's very big. And it's also under the moon, which means it's really not yet clear, hence also the blindfold. Right. But if you're making a choice, you're also in momentum and you're ascending and you're the freaking Empress, you know? So you're powerful, and it's probably a very important choice. In some way, I'm getting the feeling that the sea will need you to make this choice soon, because it needs to calm down. And right, so we have people around you in chaos. So let's look a little bit further at the people around you. They're kind of like that ocean, right? Like, you're doing this thing, you're super powerful. You may not even be conscious of how powerful and affecting you are. Or you may be. You're very powerful, Aries. People around you are in struggle, maybe because you're looking inward and you're in this ascension and they're used to you leading them. Like even the Empress here, right? You know, she's like doing her hair and her eyes are closed. It's a very kind of meditative state that you're in, even though you're also like intensely in your momentum. I just feel like, and you know, you're not obliged to get these Five of Wands people in order. These little goofballs who are, just setting things on fire while you're doing something else. Or it's not your job. That's their stuff. But let's find out a little bit more. I'm seeing that ruffled water in the Two of Swords being related to this Five of Wands. Okay. Further justice. So we have these people who lack leadership, lack a plan. It has to do with justice. You're appearing here in your color of red, but also with the green, that complementary color. And she holds the sword of truth, which is the future. Remember, the Ace of Swords is the future for you in this reading. So she holds the sword and she holds the scales, which are, in this version of justice, they are balanced. Truth and justice and balance. This is about the people in your life. Secondly, we get the King of Wands. You could always appear as the King of Wands. You are not. You are the Empress, the Chariot, Judgment. Somebody around you, and you may be experiencing this wow, I see people in robes. I'm a professor here, so I see professors, institutional types, people with power, decision, sitting on thrones. They're very fancy, powerful people in chaos around you. Lots of power, justice. The King of Wands does what the King of Wands wants. Is the fast, creative, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, fire sign. And these people are in resistance. So we get the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands. Chaos, resistance, these sort of institutional people on big chairs, Supreme Court justices, people that wear robes to work in their life. Big people with phallic symbols that they're holding around you. There's lots of phallic symbols all of a sudden. This seems a very in this reading, full of feminine energy. We've in the initial account, we've seen an increasing number of wands, right? So we're kind of seeing you, my friend, as this is a side of you, this young, energetic self that can move. You're also here appearing with all your wands and victory, riding away from this sad situation. Wow, yeah, I'm having an abnormally strong sense of gender in power and the masculine phallic stuff is coming up for me here. And you appearing as the Empress, kind of rising to your divine feminine in the midst of all of this. Yeah. People around you, they're not bad. They're in resistance. They're passionate and they're creative and they have the truth, It could be your family. They could be people you organize with, right? Because we can see that you get the Three of Pentacles in your recent past. So these are your collaborators in some way, I'm going to guess. Okay. Whew, your advice, Aries. I sigh like that because it's just so fantastic reading tarot, and when the story starts to come through and I get to see into your life, and a story is, it's just a story that I make of reading an iconography of cards, but there's something more in tarot. There's something that feels like you access the people who come to the reading, and it's really quite a privilege. It's quite a thrill. It's a wonderful way to connect. So yeah, thanks for watching. The Eight of Cups. I figure if you've watched this long, we're almost done. then it's okay if I just break out and a little personal there for a moment. So 8 of Cups, you're walking away. You are going to hermit a little bit. Yeah, this is a spiritual journey you're on, my friend. Or being called to. You're ascending, right? You're walking away like this woman. This is you and your feminine. The hermit goes inward, right? We see this about you in your Two of Swords. You got the blindfold on. This is also about this going inward to heal, to learn, to change your mind, to reflect upon this new truth. This is a spiritual journey. Wow. Use your tools, babe. The magician. The magician has all the tools he needs. He can manifest the world he wants to see. Wow. Wow. You're on a spiritual journey to envision a new world. That's why you are the Empress. You are a world builder. I feel like we're all a part of this right now. We must envision the world that we want to see, to probably misquote Gandhi, be the part of the world you want to see. But we also need to envision that. And then we manifest it. The magician is about manifesting. You use your emotions. That's the cup. You use your wand. That's your passion, your desire, your body. You use the swords. That's the truth. That's your intellect. And you use your pentacles. You use your earthly, everyday tool, money, security. You use all of the tools to build this world that you want to see. You manifest it. You say, this is the world. I'm making this world. I see this world. And then you walk toward that world one step at a time. But I see you going into the hermit first. You need time to envision that. And that might be why you're in Four of Swords right now. Wow. And thirdly, there's that new idea, the wand. Start with the wand. That's you. That's your fire, Aries, your fire sign, the wand. That's your physical body. That's your passion. That's your creativity. That's that intense fire and that cardinal spark, right? Setting the world on fire with your idea. This is your advice. And next comes the future. If you should choose it to be so, the future can change, is a new truth. An Ace of Swords. Well, let's see if we can find out a little bit more about this Ace of Swords. I'm happy for you, Aries. This is the kind of hero's journey that I would want for my friends who are Aries, Okay. Ooh. Okay. First, there's going to be an ending. It's a painful ending. This guy's dead. Something ended. It's in the intellect. It's in the truth. That's not fun. That's not fun. The truth, though, comes from accepting an ending. The sun is rising on a new day. We have to end things before we begin something new. So you're going to get this idea, and then we see this all over the place. You need a new worldview, right? Moving from healing this War of Swords, leaving one story for another. It's all over in here. Riding away from this loss. And there's many stages to leaving something that has been your complete and utter happiness, your sun, your 10 of Pentacles. This just means you finished, you did it, you accomplished it, and we can want to stay there forever. I sense a little bit of wanting to stay there. That's where we get the Two of Swords. You're in a little bit of ambivalence, but in the near future, the truth is it's over, and yeah, you're gonna know that there's change coming. It's divinely ordained change. That's why a judgment is, you're in judgment, you're in the Chariot. Time to change. It's coming. It feels soon. And on the other side of this change is complete emotional fulfillment. For crying out loud, we get the 8 of Cups, walk away. There's your 9 of Cups in your future, my friend. Yes. This is a good story, Aries. It's full of pain. It's full of transformation. You have to change your mind. But you have all the tools. You have all the tools. Something around your people, and they're all in the wands, all in the justice and the, resistance and chaos. So, don't worry about that. You're going to have a new idea here, a new truth. And this is 9 of Cups this is individual fulfillment. So maybe you've been sacrificing your personal fulfillment for this Pentacle fulfillment, career-wise. And so now you get to go towards a much more emotional, personal, fulfilling future. It appears that you are coming at least through an emotional cycle in this reading. So resistance was the card. Know that you want this and that you deserve it, whatever this is. Right? There's some resistance coming up in this reading. Resistance comes up with the people around you. So it may be that people around you are you kind of need to work them into preparedness for what is a spiritual journey. It is an ascendance. It is inevitable because this other thing is ending. There's a couple of 10s here. It's inevitable because Wheel of Fortune is divine timing. It's luck. It's fate. However you think about that. But it has the happy result of this 9 of Cups. Right? So that's your future. You've been climbing. You're going to climb again. But you got to start at the beginning. You got to climb that. First you have to go down that staircase, and then you can climb it back up with this new truth that you get down there at the bottom. Okay, that's your story. That's your story for however long it takes for me to get you a new reading, Aries. I do have my other job, and but I really enjoy checking in with you, and I appreciate your letting me see into your story. Let me know. All right, my friend.